Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Adam here from Bold Logic doing the market analysis with you. Finally, an up day in the market. We thought it couldn't happen, and finally, boom, we get it. S&P finished up 0.3%. Yay! We were up higher throughout the day, smacked against that 1420 level again, sold off there. If we keep tapping this area, it's going to be a lot harder to break through it. This is a nice firm resistance. Definitely need to see the bulls kind of rally under this area and then finally push through it and at least get a run into that 50-day moving average before we can actually get something going. Till then, though, we're still looking for more downside movement. We are still a bit oversold here, so we're going to need some sideways movement to get us out of this before we can actually really push lower and be able to sustain it. So the Bulls just need to muster up all that they got and finally break us through that 1420 area. And now is the time to do it if they want to do it. Nasdaq still holding that 200-day moving average. Very nice development here. It did not break through. It held it as support. It is oversold. Now is the time to bounce. If this thing wants to bounce, it needs to do it. Run right back into resistance at the very minimum. Definitely need to see a bounce here. Russell 2000 still kind of pushing up here, starting to bear flag a little bit, which is making me a little uneasy. It's not really oversold, so it actually can move down into that 200-day moving average. So we need to watch out for that. We need the small caps to run. Luckily, they were up 0.39% today. That's always a good sign. Now we just need to see if they can get some footing behind it and really run and maybe get us a good close in going into the weekend. VIX did come down today just a little bit, 1%. Yeah, nothing really happening here. I figure we might get a little bit more of a sell-off in the VIX come tomorrow now that Apple and Amazon earnings have released. We'll actually have to see how worried people actually were about that. Speaking of Amazon, here's Amazon today. As you can see, it finished the day at $222. Earnings had a nice miss, but after hours it only went down to 220. So just a nice little, $2 sell off. Nothing major here. With this sell off that we have been seeing, a lot of this could have already been factored in. I really wouldn't actually figure that with Amazon just because it is a pretty strong company. Most of their bad earnings came with their purchase of Living Social. So we're just going to have to see how people are going to spin that. Still a strong company. I still love my Amazon products. I buy things from them all the time. Apple, same thing. Finished the day at 609.54. Bad earnings. It is now at 609.68. So it actually is up in after hours. Just slightly, you can pretty much call it flat, but it is up. Now, with this one, I do figure most of the downward move here is because people are expecting bad earnings. Steve Jobs is no longer there. Now we got Tim Cook trying to fill the shoes, which is going to be an impossible task just because of the late Steve Jobs, was just an inspiration and an innovator. We're going to have to see if Apple can't be another game changer. They've always had these game-changing products, and now they're just kind of, hashing out the same thing. Let me hit you with the iPad 4, the iPad 20, the iPad 300. Same thing, iPhone, same thing over and over and over. So we're going to have to see if they can't come out with something a little bit more and actually restore that luster that everybody loves here. So look for this to be a buying opportunity going into tomorrow. We might have seen our short-term bottom here in the chart, and we might get a nice bid going into tomorrow. We are a little bit further away from the 200-day moving average. I was actually hoping we were going to push a little bit closer just to make it a better buying opportunity, but that 600 level might actually be a good opportunity to swing around, buy it here, see if we can get a run up, stick your stop under the 600 or this recent consolidation, 604, 605, and see if we can actually get a nice push higher. They are a little bit oversold, so I would expect a bounce, especially with their earnings being the way they were. All right, so bulls do need to make a run going into this Friday. Hopefully get some footing behind them and be able to actually stick something. Right now, we've just been getting gap up in the morning and then sell off, and we just got to stop seeing that because sooner or later, the sell off is just going to escalate. It's going to snowball, and then we're just going to see another 1% down day, 1.5% down day. So bulls need to actually be able to stick a nice gap up. We may get it tomorrow just because Apple and Amazon earnings are now out of the way. They did not get taken as bad as people thought they would, even though they had bad earnings. People are still holding on to them and buying them up. So Maybe the buy the dip mentality is still here and present, and now we need to see the push. All right, everyone. Good luck going into Friday. We'll talk to you on Sunday.